Welcome everyone, Dylan Gemelli here today with a brand new video for you. And today's video, we're going to talk about the best steroids for looking good naked. But before we get into that, just a big shout out and thank you to everybody out there watching and supporting the channel. I cannot thank you enough. The likes, the shares, the subs. It is absolutely amazing. We're growing at a rapid rate. Let's get up to 100,000 and just look up from there and keep climbing. Also, today's video is sponsored by letsgetchecked.com. Now, letsgetchecked.com specializes in at-home blood testing. All you got to do is go to their website. They have every kind of test you could want for men and women. Full hormonal, wellness, sexual health, COVID, whatever you want. Check them out. Put your order in. As soon as you get those kits in the mail, get your blood sample and send it right back if you want those results fast. You're going to get your results extremely fast once they get them back. They're going to send them to you online. They've got doctors and nurses there 24/7 to answer questions or concerns that you might have. And on top of that, if you use the code Gemelli30, it's going to save you 25% off. So check them out, letsgetchecked.com. Now, best steroids for looking good naked. Now, understand first, this is a very subjective list, meaning it's my opinion and my criteria of what I think is going to be the best to look good naked. Some of you may disagree with what I believe is the best for that. What I believe is the best for that is something that is going to add lean muscle, but be extremely hardening at the same time. And when I say hardening, really accentuate your, abdominals and kind of be more vascularity that comes out with a compound like this. It's going to give you that kind of ability. The striations, we want that in my view. That might not be your view, and to each their own. And this is just what I believe. So, I had to leave Primobolan off of this list. Putting halotestin in here, for me, I don't like doing it because I don't recommend it being used, but it's got to be in here. It just has to, and I make it whatever. I'm not going to do all that nonsensical whatever. So understand, some of these are razor thin, and I'm going to explain what made me separate them. 3, 4, and 5 are like 3A, 3B, and 3C, but I'm going to explain to you why. So I put Master on at 5, and you might be thinking, what? Here's why. Because it's not going to be that way for everybody that uses it. If you're not lean enough, Masteron is not going to do much more for you. It's going to do some, but if you're not lean enough, you're not going to have that, aesthetic that you get from it. And you're better off using a couple of the other ones that I'm going to put ahead of it instead of that, for that reason only. If every single person got the same result from Masteron, it would definitely be much higher. But because it's going to be a lot more subjective to the individual, what kind of conditioning they're in and how their diet is, that's why I had to slip it to number 5. Remember, these are razor thin. So I had to come up with whatever little thing, and I think that's enough to drop it to 5. Because it just doesn't cover enough of the people that could potentially be using it. Number 4, and I will explain to you that just because I list these doesn't mean these are to be used by everybody. There's a lot of things that I'll explain when we get to those. Number 4, Winstrol. And Winstrol and Anavar are like so close, even closer than with Masteron. So I put Anavar ahead of Winstrol because of 2 things. One, because the Winstrol side effects are a lot higher and a lot harder to tolerate, which can make it potentially a little bit harder to use it for some people. And that's one of the main reasons as to why, when the side effects are that high, it can be a problem for some. And the other reason is because Anavar is a little bit better for fat burning. It's known for that. And because of that, while Winstrol can add more lean muscle, and I love Winstrol for hardening, I think with the benefits of Anavar, coupled with the fact that the side effects are so much lighter and they're this close, and I that's why I went with Anavar ahead of Winstrol. But with Winstrol, the strength is going to be better than it ever gets credit for. The vascularity is insane, and the lean muscle you can get is more than Anavar, and it's a good amount. But I gave you the reasons. That's why I took Anavar ahead. Anavar, more mild, excellent for muscle hardening, better for fat loss, not as much lean muscle, but the other things that it does totally make up for that and put it just slightly ahead. So Number 2 is halotestin. I say that like begrudgingly because I don't recommend halotestin at all, especially for people that aren't super, super, super experienced with a very specific reason to use it. But I'm not going to do all that. Halo belongs number 2 because Halo is going to make you hard as nails. And because Halo on its own is not going to get you any lean muscle, but because it gets you so damn strong if you're running it with anything else, you're still going to get so much more lean size because of that capability alone. And so you shouldn't be running Halo by itself anyway, and it should be at a much lower dose. So Halo's got to go number 2. Anybody that's used it or seen anybody use it would know that what that can and will do. Halo's number 2. Number 1 is Tren. That is easy. Because of what Tren can do all the way around and the way that you can manipulate your diet to make it even better and how strong and how lean and how listen, Tren is the king. We know that. There's no arguing that. We know what it can do. It's easily number 1. It is by far the best steroid to look good naked. And that would be probably for everybody that has their own different kind of idea of what looking good naked means because Tren can do it all. But understand, Tren is very harsh, not for everybody. I'm not recommending these. I'm not recommending these are not for everybody, okay? You should watch all the videos I've done separately on these to understand more about them. This is just a basic list of my ranking for fun and, where I see it in my own criteria or thought process on my idea of looking good naked. You may disagree, you may agree. I just wanted this to be fun and, get some comments going and get some discussion going and just a break from all the general shit and something more fun. So, that being said, stay tuned for plenty more to come. Dylan Gemelli, signing off.